Hello everybody! I had a few questions regarding the essential oils come up, and I thought I'm gonna clarify that a little bit. Most of you that know me know that I've been working with the plants for quite some time, and it was mainly the master plants that I've come in touch with several years and lifetimes ago, and they completely changed my life. I studied media management and worked with Australian musicians coming to Germany and wanting to help them bring into the world what they were channeling through with their music, what came out of them, and I was fascinated by it. So at some point, working with the plants, going to Peru, I realized that there's certain things that I have that come through me that I can bring into the world. And so my focus has shifted into, okay, what is my source and what is it that I have to give? So apart from, doing 10 years of yoga myself, becoming a yoga teacher once again in this life, and doing my 500 hours now. At the moment, going to Bali again next year, which I really look forward to. And teaching yoga now regularly. I just finished a class, so it really brings great joy to me. And apart from this, I'm working with the plants, and now I'm also working with the essential oils. Most of us, not all of us, lucky some don't, but live in cities. And in cities, when you look at them from above, you mainly see as if it's like a parasite of nature. There's hardly any trees left. I don't know if you probably know what's going on in the world, cutting down forest, the Amazon, planting palm trees for palm oil and all this crazy shit. In some areas there's fire, it's too dry. In some areas there's too much water, it's floodings. So nature is like telling us something, right? And it's good when we start to listen, and we can listen once we start to connect again to it. If we never get in touch with it by just having one cactus at home, which we don't really water or look at or communicate with, that doesn't help much. So I love plants. I have loads of plants at home, and I also love the essential oils because it's the essence of the plants, and I'm using them for those reasons, to be able to connect again to nature. I put sometimes Idaho blue spruce, which is the highest frequency oil there is of. I use the company Unliving because they do only therapeutic oils. It's not just for the smell. They really take the essence and the whole spectrum of the plant into the oil. So when it's distilled, dampfdestilliert in German, when it's distilled, some plants need 18 hours, some plants need less, some need more. And you can only distill the oils for 3 hours and you have the smell, and that's good enough for some, and you send it out in the market and can buy it, but it doesn't contain the full spectrum of the plant. And that's why I love these oils so much. I'm sure there's also some other companies, but not many, because only 2% of the oils there are therapeutic, and all of the Young Living ones are therapeutic. That's why I came across them and I just work with them. I know one friend of mine has another company, doTERRA. I think they do similar things, but I don't know so much about it. I know they derived from Young Living. There's some people that used to work for Young Living and then started their own business. So I guess they have similar values, or I'm not sure. Anyways, what the oils do is so amazing, because when you, for example, have pine trees and you put it in the diffuser and you sleep in it overnight, it completely changes the way, what you breathe in. It's not just the fumes from the street, it's just really pure energy of a forest. Or there's some oil mixtures that they've done. One is called Thieves. It's related to the pest in France, where there were some thieves going into the houses of the sick and dying rich people and stealing their things. And when they actually caught them, they said, okay, you get a mild penalty if you tell us why you didn't die, why didn't you get sick, going into their houses. And so the recipe is now in the Louvre in France, and the oil Thieves is, what the name says, based on that recipe. It's a mixture of herbs that help you your immune system and help you with protecting yourself from all the germs that are around, especially winter's coming, a lot of people have a sniff or cold, and when you put Thieves in the diffuser or when you use the products to clean the house with, it actually cleans the house based on this recipe, and it helps your immune system at the same time, which I totally love. And it's non-chemical at all. They really have the Seed to Seal program, it's called, and they really look at where it starts, the plant, to when you get the bottle. And it's all really looked at, that there's no chemicals in it, that it's completely pure, that it's also replanted, that I think with Copaiba, for example, I think the trees have to have died and laid on the ground for, I don't know if it was 3 years or even more, but it was several years until they take the juice out of it, because only then the juice, like the oil, is actually in its fullest power. And there's all those different stories. It would go too far if I tell you about every oil that they do. But one question of a friend of mine was, who decides? There's an oil called gratitude, an oil called belief, higher unity. Who is making the mixtures? Like, who decides this and this and this plant combined give, makes the gratitude oil? And with the higher unity, I've seen a video of the person and the team who were creating it. And they said they wanted to have an oil that grounds, where you can focus and where you can interrelate with each other, which also opens yourself up. And there's so much knowledge about different plants. And I mean, if you've done a dieta in a shamanic way or a Western way, it doesn't matter. If you're really connected to a plant, you can even just meditate with it for long enough, and when you become silent, you can communicate and really hear once you listen. And so you can either do this with every plant to connect to it, to know what it does and what it brings into the world, and then make a blend yourself, like I sometimes do. I do little oil bottles where for my parents, they get different plants that I put together, and I sort of ask the plants, I ask the oils, okay, who can help here to support my mom with her things? Some people need more calmness, they need more quiet and ease in their life. And others need a bit more support because they are quite, they don't have enough energy, they feel tired, and they need a bit of a push, and it can be done so easily and wonderfully by our friends, the plants. For example, with lemon. 1 drop of lemon contains 2 lemons in it, and it really helps you become clear and awake, and it's great to diffuse in the morning, for example. And back to the question of the team that develops the blends, they have actually said, related to the higher unity blend, that they've worked with the pheromones, which helps the plants to communicate with each other. And they wanted to adapt that to the humans, to be able to communicate with each other. And the pheromones are the compounds in the oils that are uplifting, clarifying, and unifying. And by trial and error, they have used some base oils, which they said, okay, we know about these oils, we want to have them in, and then they added this oil. And they had a team of people that were saying, okay, when I smell this, like, you know, you usually, to activate it, I'm going to use some belief. You put a drop in your hand, you rub it in to activate it. I always offer it first to the divine, and then I smell it and put it into my system. And when I smell it, it goes directly into the limbic system. It jumps over the thought patterns, the thought areas. It goes right in, and it makes you feel different in the moment you smell it. I mean, you know, sometimes people have memories come up when they smell certain things of their childhood and of, you know, some person they knew that were wearing a certain smell. Smell is such an important thing, and we've lost a little bit of this sense by, I think it got numbed a little bit because we don't need it as much anymore. It's more the eyes and the ears and the speaking that that is very strong in our society. It's needed. And yeah, with the higher unity, they've did the trial and error, and then the team says, okay, when this gets blended in, then I feel like this. When this blends in, then I feel like that. And so that's how they develop it, to answer the question. I guess it's a different process a little bit with different oils. RC, for example, which supports your breathing, which has helped a lot of people already who had trouble with breathing, who even had to go to hospital, had to be medicated, and they started working with it. And it's mainly different kinds of eucalyptus. It's got a few forest trees in it, and myrrh as well, only to name a few. So it's a blend that where you know from the plants what they do, and you put it together to support your breathing system. And there's different books you can get also on the plants and what they do and how they can support you. And if you really feel like you want to connect to nature again, and you know, even living in the city and you feel like you miss it, you can bring it into your homes, and you can also work with it every day. You can use the oils on your skin. Like if you put a drop of oil on your toe, and 3 seconds later, when you take blood out of your ear, you can see that the oil has been put into your system. That's happening with the oils, and that's happening with chemical products as well. So really watch out what you're buying, because there's so many people getting sick of cancer, of autoimmune diseases, where often it's said, I don't know how this happened, and we don't know where it comes from. It just will be there for the rest of your life, and you have to take this medicine, and from the medicine you have then certain side effects. And you know, I have a family that, and especially a dad who's quite sick for many years, and he's been really bombarded with this pill and that pill and that pill, and it didn't actually, it was always a band-aid that created something new. And so that's why when I was very young I said there need to be a different way of help people heal, and not to just, you know, cover whatever comes up, what the body says, like help, there's something wrong, like, you know, skin rash. And you can ignore it and take something, and then you just, you know, then you may not have the skin rash anymore. But then a lot of people with eczema know this. I had eczema as a child, and I had a bit of a session with it a few years ago, total breakout. When you just suppress it, then it comes out and affects your organs. Like a lot of people with eczema who take too much of the forgot the name, maybe it's not compliant and all this, I don't know, but you are not supposed to yeah, when you take so much of the cream, and sometimes the people take it in, then they have lung problems and they can't breathe so well. Yeah, so my attitude is always go to the root and heal it, feel it, and yeah, heal it and feel it and heal it. Exactly. Of course, we are multiversal beings. I don't know if that's a word, but we're not just three-dimensional beings, and we can choose many pathways to support ourselves, to actually look behind the curtain of what appears, to see how we can heal it. And it can be a systemic, I don't know the English word, Aufstellung, you know, where you have one person comes with an issue and then a few people come and they position themselves as the sickness or the unborn baby, or you know, the father who has died, which hasn't been resolved, something from, and then you have this constellation thing where you can look at it and heal it, the complexity of the situation. And you don't have to do it all in yourself with your thoughts, because your thoughts, they just circulate, they don't lead you anywhere further. Sometimes new ideas are born, but if you just let the thoughts circulate and they become, you know, a pattern, then you're not in the moment anymore. Then you're just the result of your past, and not the creating person you can be, who creates what you want in your life. And I know sometimes it's difficult when people are very sick to overcome it, but people that have overcome sickness usually report to see sickness as a great blessing in their life, because then they started looking at things differently and started to, you know, even when the normal medicine ways said we can't do anything anymore, you know, to find alternatives. And there are alternatives, and everyone's their own master. You can always go and find support. And to me, my support is often in the plant world, and that's why I love working with my plants in this way. Not living in the nature, living in the city. If you have any questions, let me know. With the oils, there is something called the starter kit, which makes it really affordable to have like a little house pharmacy to begin with, where you get pretty much the diffuser for free. And then you have 12 oils to begin with, which sort of cover a lot of stuff of everyday life. And that's how it started with me. From there I dived a little bit deeper, because I'm using it for yoga, using it for ceremonies, and it's really been a blessing and really wonderful. And I gifted it to some of my friends and family already, because I see what it does, how it actually helps change lives. And we're in a time where we have to stay focused, stay centered, and really connect to what's important to us, and not get flushed away by all the drama that's going on in the world, you know. If we, with our frequency, join in there, then we're just part of that mess. And so when we decide to really focus to ourselves and connect with others who focus, and remind each other, because, you know, sometimes we go in and out of this. If we stay focused and connected to the godly essence of our own being, then life will change completely, and it will feel different, and we will create a different world. And that's what I would like to support in many ways. Okay, I hope this helps you. Much love, and see you soon. Speak soon. Bye.